Hello teacher, my name is Brenda Saray Enriquez Hernandez and our group is going to talk about the environment in the past, present and future. I'll start by talking about the environment of the earth in the past. The earth has the earth has large oceans very early in its history, like what we can consider. During this time, the earth should have been frozen because the sun was weak at that time, because there was a large and vigorous oceans, and the earth must have has a large and vigorous atmosphere and place to keep the surface warm. This environment was well suited for the development of life as we see here. The earliest fossils show that there was life on Earth at least 3.8 billion years ago. In the past, the atmosphere of the Earth came from volcanoes, and today volcanoes continue to produce water vapor, carbon dioxide, and other gas from the atmosphere. Over the course of time, the composition of the atmosphere has changed significantly. The earliest atmosphere was very rich in carbon dioxide, like the present Mars and Venus. The present atmosphere is 18% nitrogen and 20% oxygen. Life on Earth was what transformed the content of the Earth's atmosphere to the present composition. Over the course of time, there have also been significant change in the Earth's climate. The surface of the Earth has seen extremely high temperature as well as extremely low temperatures. Largest change in climate can have serious consequences for life on Earth, which is the main reason we are concerned about global warming. For example, the burning of fossil fuels since the Industrial Revolution, in combination with cement making and deforestation, has resulted in a 40% increase in the atmospheric concentration of the potent greenhouse gas carbon dioxide. Since the Industrial Revolution, the Earth has warmed by approximately 1 grade Celsius, exactly half the Earth's climate systems, buffer and oceans will change in response to current and future anthropogenic CO2 emission is a subject of significant scientific, public and political debate. CO2, of course, is not the only pollutant emitted by human action, the sum total of which have less such an imprint on the earth that science propose we have not entered the Anthropon's epoch. And notable, the Anthropon's epoch is an unofficial unit of geological time used to describe the most recent period in Earth history, when human activity started to have a significant impact in the planet climate and ecosystems. Thank you.
Hello, teacher. My name is Maria Cristina Baches Munto. I am going to talk to you about the environment today. How is the environment today? Currently, the planet Earth has a massive deterioration. The planet Earth has a massive deterioration to the indiscrimination use of natural records and a little attention in general is a give to the solution of the negative effect that this process and living beings, including the human population. Environmental problems are real thus that make it difficult to enjoy the human right to healthy environment the human being, promoting soil pollution or destroying habitats. Environmental problems threaten our planet, the entire population today and the future without water or clean air, sufficient food or ecosystems rich in biodiversity. Next, I will give the 7 main points that affect the environment. Number 1, environmental problems on the planet lands, forest disappear due to deforestation. During the last year, we have witnessed a progress in destruction of forests or deforestation. Deforestation in many countries results from unsustainable agriculture and logging. And number 2, drought and water scarcity. Environmental problems in the water effect. Natural source. Did you know? 70% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, but 97.5% of water is not sustainable for human consumption. On the other hand, the demand for water is growing and is expected to increase by 55% until 2050. Additionally, we find the problem of water quality, which makes became one of the most precious assets. In fact, water in poor condition is the cause of deadly disease that mentally affect boy and girls. For example, diarrhea accounts for 40% of childhood deaths in an emergency. In an emergency, almost half of these Deaths could be avoided with the simple gesture of washing hands. Oxfam Intermon is committed to this problem, and one of our main concerns is that these children have access to clean water. Number 3, abusive consumption. Your waste comproves global environmental problems based on Eurostat data during 2014. The waste generated in the European Union by companies and households amounted to 2053 million tons, which is the highest fuel record in the European Union during the period of 2004 to 2014. In this science, recycling is exciting with these ideas. It is a way to reduce waste, allows to avoid the use of more raw materials. And number 4, environmental problems also harm your health. Air pollution you breathe. Didn't you know yet? The World Health Organization WHO considers that there is a close relationship between respiratory and cardiovascular health and air pollution levels. With low level of this type of pollution, your health will be better. Air pollution we breathe from gas emission is one of the most concerning environmental problems actually. China is the most pollution country in the terms of CO2 emissions. Science it emits 10 that 64 kilotons, followed by the USA with 5.17. Based on data from the Association of Collective Urban Transport Management Companies, ATUC, the use of public transport avoids the emission of up to 5 million tons of CO2 per year. So with simple gestures such as the use of transport public, or electric cars, we can contribute to have a better from no can bus, mirror, or bicycle to help mitigate one of the environmental problem that is harming your health. And number 5, one of the most serious environmental problems, climate change. Natural warns use every year that something is changing, and we must listen to it. Based on data from the European Union, The increase in temperature cause deforestation, the destruction of natural habitats, that of the poles, extreme temperatures, meteorological phenomena such as type, typhoons or hurricanes. It is not only seen on television. It's a really imagine that Neil subtitles. Climate change is one of the most dangerous um, environmental problem. The food and agriculture use that this phenomena in space sustainable development is an obstacle to end poverty and puts food security at risk. And number 6, pollution of the sea, the problem of the environment and you died. The pollution is due, among other causes, to the use of toxic substance derived from industry, pesticides used in agriculture, or oil spills. This is a serious problem that can be transformed to our own food chain. And number 7, environmental problems put biodiversity at risk, danger of extinction of species. Everything that happens in the environment is related, and the extinction of species is one of the consequences of all the problems that we have described above. Based on the Living Planet Index 2016, the world's population of fish, birds, amphibians, mammals, and reptiles decreased by 58% between in 1097 and 2012. The increase of the general space and the reduction of biodiversity are two issues that show her concern us, although we still have time to to do our part to minimize them, or in some cases reserve the trend by reaching solution for these species is dangerous.
Hi, my name is Alejandra Margarita Mejia Vasquez. I will tell you about how the environment will be in the future. How will the environment be in the future? As technology advances and we learn from mistakes looming, but before it is essential to be difficult to deal with the problems on the present and its possible complications for the future. What environmental problems will be more problem for humanity? Today, we must face many environmental problems globally. It is up to us to change our habits and make others aware so that they can modify theirs. These are the great challenge for humanity. Number one, overpopulation. Unstoppable population growth is a serious problem, not only because of the need for food and the presence of the resource involved, but because it implies higher level of contamination. In fact, in the last 60 years, the population has tripled. Number two, climate change. One of the environmental problems that most worries the scientific community and that generates much controversy at the political level. We cannot deny that human activities affect the temperature of the planet, the level of the ocean, and the amount of rainfall. Global warming is a product of greenhouse gas emissions that have been released into the atmosphere since the Industrial Revolution, but which has increased in recent times. Number three, pollution. We can talk about different types of the pollution from the air, to the combustion of industry and transport, from water, from acid rain. There is leakage of toxic products and from the salt diet, industrial waste, and for management of urban waste. The main consequence in the loss of natural weight in ecosystem. Number four, loss of biodiversity. Overpopulation, pollute climate change, as well as discrimination and poaching are the main cause of irrecoverable habitat loss when an animal or plant species becomes extinct. The entire ecosystem around it changes and moves. Others, the effect on the loss of biodiversity will affect especially